Welcome to the Best Local Mover Training Course. This is an entry-level 1 course. By the end of this course, you'll be able to apply for the Best Local Mover certification. This training program aims to provide you with a technical approach to local household moving, specifically tailored for those who are new to the field. By following the techniques and methods presented here, entry-level movers can enhance their skills, gain knowledge, prepare for more advanced training, and prepare for more field experience in the future. While there is no substitute for real-life experience, this course can give you a valuable head start. After reviewing the materials, you will have the opportunity to apply what you learned through hands-on training. Once you pass the assessment, you will be recognized as a certified best mover and can work towards additional certification levels by accumulating the required field hours. Remember, the moving company you work with may employ different practices or enhance practices outside the basics in this trainer. Be ready to adjust the knowledge learned here to your company's individual procedures and requirements. We also provide training and certifications in the following fields. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more information on our other training and certifications. In order to obtain the Best Mover certification, it is necessary to achieve a score of 80% or higher on the test. To ensure a thorough understanding of the material, it's crucial to carefully pay attention to this video and take notes as necessary. In the event that you do not pass the test on your initial attempt, you have the option of retaking it as many times as necessary until you obtain a passing score. Your mechanical aptitude, physical endurance, and ability to interact personally with your customers is what makes a certified best mover a professional that customers want to have in their home. Professional movers often don't receive the credit and respect they deserve, despite the many challenges and pressures they face daily. Most careers do not have to deal with the same level of pressure and uncertainty that household movers encounter. Each day, we visit a new home with strangers and must quickly and safely move hundreds of items of varying weights without causing any damage. Our success can be affected by factors outside of our control, such as the customer's mood or the complexity of the move. However, being a mover is much more than just transporting furniture. We also offer emotional support, guidance, and suggestions on how to make each move special for our customers. This can be personally rewarding, and as a certified best mover, we take pride in our profession and respect how mentally and physically challenging it can be. This course is a technical part of moving instruction. It is very important that after learning the technical part of the job, that a supervisor or experienced mover spends the time in practice with you so that you can learn the hands-on part of the service. Nothing is more important or stronger from a training perspective in this industry than actual hands-on experience. Nothing can compare. Use the combination of both the technical and the hands-on training to enhance your abilities to perform and become the best mover you can be. Remember, this training is just a guide, and your company may have different policies and procedures for you to follow. Let's begin at the start of every day. We want to make sure that we are prepared for any job site we're assigned to. Make sure your shoes are laced up and tight around the ankles. Be sure to stretch to prevent injuries. Put on back braces and check all tools. Bring gloves and pack a lunch. The best way to start your day is to be on time for your schedule. This means arriving early to the job site, inspecting your truck, checking your tool bag, and making sure that you are stretched and ready for a great day. Get your coffee and bathroom break in before hitting the truck. A positive attitude will help you and your crew work through the day. Uniforms say a lot about a professional. Be sure that your shirt is always tucked in, you have no sagging or exposed briefs, you have dark blue shorts or pants, you have dark colored sneakers or light boots, no loose jewelry or watches, no logos or colorful hats. Hats should not be worn backwards. A professional look helps instill confidence in your services and will likely increase your tips on jobs. Clean and form-fitting uniforms will make a great first impression. Your tips are usually in line with how you present yourself professionally. While cell phones may be needed for drivers or team leads, it is important that phones are not abused on the jobs. Try to keep personal calls to a minimum and make sure any calls are not in the presence of your customer. As a best mover, it is important that your customer has the full confidence in a non-distracted team. Using your phone for calls or playing music sets the wrong tone for a move. Text messaging is a much less intrusive way of personal communication during the day. Don't lose your tip on one move by having a customer think you didn't earn it because you were constantly on your cell phone. Here's a list of best practices to remember while operating the moving truck. Keep your truck free of trip hazards. Your truck should be swept out after every move. Your truck will need to be wiped down every morning before takeoff. Use bleach or germicide to wipe your truck interior. Pick up all stretch wrap, water bottles, and freeze pops as you go, and put them in the trash bag on your truck. Your company may spray for bed bugs on a weekly or monthly basis. Loose food in the floor of your box can attract roaches and other rodents. Remember that riders, such as customers or non-employees, are not allowed in the cab or the box of the truck for insurance liability purposes. Smoking and vaping policy. It is crucial for best movers to maintain a professional image with customers consistently. To uphold this, refrain from smoking or vaping while on the job, or in the truck with non-smoking team members. If you must smoke or vape during a break, do so out of the customer's sight and away from their property. Additionally, consider washing down to ensure you smell fresh before returning to the customer. It is recommended to follow smoking etiquette and review your company's smoking policy. Tips for inspecting your truck. During the Best Mover driver certification, you will learn about the safe operation of your truck and take a road and written test. One thing required every day by all drivers is to inspect your equipment before leaving the yard. This includes headlights and signals, horns, wipers, tires, and inspecting for any leaks. Any issues should be reported via text message to the main line for operations or follow your company's updated procedures for reporting defects. You will learn more about this in the Best Driver Certification Trainer. Truck roof safety. Here are some things to remember to keep your truck's overhead roof damages to a minimum. The average box truck height is 13 foot 3 inches, so that means pay attention at all times to your overhead, avoiding parking in a tree. Watch for low-hanging bridges. If you hit something with overhead, stop the truck. Do not drive through the obstacle. Watch out for soffits on homes. Watch out for low canopies at gas stations. And when in doubt, don't. Setting up cones and flashers. To ensure safety while working with your truck, it is crucial to follow safe practices. It is essential to be aware of parking restrictions and avoid receiving a ticket. Since movers often work at the back of the truck, placing safety cones at the front and back of your vehicle will provide a secure work area and help protect your team. Being a spotter when backing up the moving truck. Never allow the truck to go near the edge of the driveway. Never allow less than 24 inches of space between the truck and an object. Don't be afraid to stop and ask the team leader, the driver, to come and inspect. Never back a truck onto the lawn. When backing up a truck, watch for overhead wires and branches. And again, watch for the roof and soffit on the house. Driving in driveways, avoiding ruts and mailboxes. Be careful when pulling in and out of your customer's home. Watch out for causing ruts, usually caused by not using a spotter, pulling in and out of the property. Be mindful of mailboxes and other neighbors' property, especially when you pull out to leave your customer's home. Safety at work. Here are some ways to always be safe while moving. Watch fingers and toes around lift gates and large furniture so they don't get crushed. No open-toed shoes. Drink plenty of water and monitor your urine color for hydration. Do not attempt to lift two-person pieces by yourself. Wear a back brace and use dollies. Stay alert and aware of your working conditions. Be cautious of slipping on ramps during rain or snow. Watch the speed of the truck, especially during rain or snow. Wear good grip gloves and report any injuries to your operations or team coordinator immediately. Always practice these safe lifting techniques so you don't get injured. Stretching before your jobs is a great way to prevent injuries. No need to He-Man. When in doubt, get your team to help. Use a back brace for additional support. Always use your knees, not your back. Use dollies and other tools with wheels to assist with lifting. Working in the winter. Working in the snow and ice can have its own challenges. It is important to work at a slower pace and be more aware of your working environment for safety reasons. Here are some winter safety tips. Make sure the path from the truck to the home is clear of ice. If not, break up the ice and remove it from any walking paths. Be careful when walking up and down the ramp. Make sure to wear good winter gloves, a hat, and snow boots to help preventing slippage. Be careful tracking snow and ice into a home, and make sure to have a lot of floor protection down on the walking paths. Working in the rain. Working in the snow and rain requires extreme caution for your safety and the safety of your customers' sites. Park close to the house or garage. See if they can reschedule. Work slow and carefully on your walk ramps and walkboards. Wrap everything. Wear rain jackets. Watch for slippery surfaces and work around the rain. Spotting for storage moves, trucks get damaged. Spotting your driver is very important. Over 80% of truck damages to box trucks happen on private property, such as storage facilities, apartment communities, and homes. Less than 20% of box truck accidents take place on the highway. Be careful, always keep 18 inches of space between your truck and items like curbs, mailboxes, buildings, and posts. Safe driving tips. Watch for trash, such as Gatorade bottles that can roll under your gas and brake pedals. Team leaders, drivers, should keep a minimum of 3 truck lengths of distance between them and the vehicle in front of them. Take turns and corners slow, using all mirrors. Complete the Best Mover Driver Certification course and road test. Never go over the speed limit, and always stay out of the passing or fast lane. A safe workplace. In order to be recognized as a top-notch mover, it's essential that your team works together with a positive attitude. Creating a safe and welcoming work environment for your colleagues is crucial. Here are a few tips to keep in mind. Do not carry any weapons. Avoid making threats or engaging in any kind of intimidating behavior. Refrain from bullying others. Speak up and report any instances of harassment. And report any incidents of sexual harassment. Are you dehydrated? You can quickly check your hydration level by using the P chart. If your urine is light yellow to clear, you're hydrated. If your urine is bright to dark yellow, you need to hydrate as soon as possible. Other symptoms of dehydration include thirst, dizziness, confusion, fatigue, dry skin or dry mouth, less frequent urination, and increased heart rate. New team member protocol. Make new team members feel comfortable and supported when they start. A better team makes for more tips and a better day. When a new team member is on the truck, try and not share that the team members are new with customers to keep them out of the spotlight. Have new team members focus on boxes, so leads can judge their ability and ease them back into an endurance needed for moving. Stay positive and give lots of positive feedback when critiquing. Communicate and ask them how they're doing and if they have any questions. Monitor their hydration and ask them to check their urine colors. Work hard and enjoy the day together. Remember what it was like on your first days. Tips for making a good first impression on your first day. Clearly introduce yourself. Be uniformed correctly. Have your toolkit ready to go. Move with purpose. Stay positive throughout the move. Work as a team. Over-communicate. And ask what the customer's favorite piece is right from the start and get that piece prepped and loaded onto the truck safely. Moving with pets and children. It can be difficult to work around children and pets during a move. If there are any pets present, the team leader should consult with the customer to determine the best way to secure the animals and prevent them from causing accidents by getting under the mover's feet. It is important to note that customers and non-employees should never be allowed inside the moving truck. Dealing with children can also present challenges, and if they are hindering the moving process, it is acceptable to politely ask the customer for assistance. For example, you could say, "Excuse me, sir, could you please help me with the kids? They're great, but I'm worried that one of us might get hurt while we're moving this piece of furniture." Always use your manners. When arriving, knock on the door and take a few steps back to show the customer that you're respecting their space. Practice using good manners all the time, please and thank you. Be respectful of the people no matter your personal thoughts. Take time with your walkthrough, asking good questions. Never argue or bicker with coworkers. Don't show weakness by losing control of your emotions. Show empathy. Not every move is under good circumstance. Good vibes equals good days. Be well rested and ready to go. Great attitudes go a long way. Smile a lot. This helps with tips too. Stay positive. The longer the day, the more positivity you're going to need. Designated no-pack area. A designated no-pack area is another important step in a great move. This designated area is where items that do not get touched by the mover should go. Typically, a hall bathroom or closet is the best place. Put a blue X on the door with tape and write "Do Not Touch." Things that should go in the no-pack area are purses and phones, cable boxes and remotes, laptops and chargers, pet food and supplies, diaper bags, or kid travel toys. Pre-existing damages pictures. Pre-existing damages are important in protecting yourself and your customers when filing a claim. It is important to take pictures of the floor and wall damage while performing your walkthrough with the customer and uploading the pictures of these damages to your CRM. It is also important to walk through each room and take pictures of any noticeable furniture damage before the team starts moving them and uploading them to the CRM. Not normal wear and tear should also be pointed out to the customer by the team leader. Make sure when arriving at the drop-off location that during your walkthrough with the customer, you take pictures of any floor and wall damages before you start the unload. Your company may have slightly different processes and procedures to follow during the claim and claim prevention processes. Team leaders will log into Markate and directly upload the pictures into each work order. Inventory sheets. Depending on how the moving company you work for does it, there are usually two common types of inventory. Lots of local movers will usually take pictures of any pre-existing furniture and property damage before starting the load and also do the same on the property before starting the unload. This is a fast and easy way to document damages. Inventory sheets are also another great tool and best for pre-existing damages. While they take longer, the documentation is much more detailed and it requires the customer's signature as well as the time of the load. If your company uses inventory sheets, you can learn how to fill out inventory sheets in our Best Interstate Mover course. Starting the move. Always start with the upstairs with the first floor empty. While the team leader or driver does a walkthrough and gets pre-existing pictures, team members or the movers should start putting up home protection, bringing in blankets, and start clearing smaller items and boxes from the upstairs. Or if it's a one-story home, start with the furthest point in the residence. Next, start clearing good base pieces for good stacking in the truck. Clear the remaining upstairs while loading smaller items from downstairs. Discuss parking at the unload site with the customer before heading to the unload destination. Remove stretch wrap and bands while folding the blankets as you bring in each piece. Stage the furniture to the planogram or from the customer's instruction. Move the customer's favorite piece. Local movers often utilize a winning strategy during their initial walkthrough by pinpointing the customer's most treasured possession. This can often be accomplished without direct questioning, as the customer will typically showcase their prized item, often accompanied by a backstory. This approach can earn you valuable points early on in the move. If you wish to take the lead and make a favorable first impression, consider loading this special item first onto the truck, placing it securely against the back wall. This way, it will be one of the first items unloaded and placed into the new home. Once you've taken documentation photos, take extra care in wrapping and safeguarding this important piece. If you go above and beyond, your customer will surely appreciate the attention to detail, setting a positive tone for the entire move. Your tool bag. Having the right tools for the job is almost as important as showing up for work in the morning. A good tool bag prepares you for everything, presents you as a professional, and makes your day go much smoother. Your bag may differ, but at the very least, the following should be in your tool bag. A rubber mallet, regular and Phillips screwdrivers, an Allen wrench set, channel locks, a crescent wrench, box cutter, Teflon tape, a T-bit set, pliers, a socket set, deep sockets, a drill, this is very helpful, tape measure, and furniture touch-up sticks. How to team carry. To ensure that you and your team are working safely while carrying an item that requires more than one person to move, it's important to follow these guidelines. Bend at the knees together. Communicate with each other and stand side by side. Guide each other carefully downstairs, around corners, and when loading and unloading from the truck. Using lifting straps. Lifting straps, harness, or forearm can be a great addition to your tool bag. Straps are great for lifting items around tight turns, wash machines out of their drain pan, or tricky unbalanced pieces. Forearm straps can be great when you need to move pieces lighter than 250 pounds. Harness straps provide much more stability and can lift up to 600 pounds. The setup is a little more cumbersome and it takes a few minutes to get set up. Find out which strap setup you prefer and get a harness for your toolbox. Erratic customers. Occasionally, you may encounter customers who exhibit erratic behavior due to mental health issues. Dealing with rude and unpredictable customers can make for a challenging workday. However, it is essential to assess the situation and determine the customer's state of mind before reacting. Here are some helpful tips for managing such customers. Keep your conversations brief and to the point. Do not tolerate derogatory language or excessive swearing. Respond to them with kindness and exceed their expectations with your pleasant demeanor. If possible, seek the help of a supervisor to de-escalate the situation. Moving unboxed art, glass, and breakables. Art and glass are items on local moves that have a high claim rate. Most of these claims could have been avoided completely by not transporting glass or art that's not properly packed. You can avoid this by sticking to the golden rule of not moving any breakables that are not properly packaged. If you have a fast pack or keep boxes on your truck, make sure it's right before it goes wrong. Do not move items that are breakable that are not packed. Wrapping a glass item with a moving blanket does not prevent breakage. Sticking glass in between mattresses will not prevent the glass from breaking. Offer to put it in your customer's car if your company allows. The dolly. Hand truck. Used for boxes and smaller pieces of furniture, the dolly is an important part of your truck's tool chest. Appliance dolly. Used for moving mostly refrigerators, freezers, wash machines, and other odd heavy items. Furniture dolly. Used for rolling furniture by using one or several floor dollies to push your item across the floor. How to prevent claims on the job. Blanket everything. Never lift a two-person lift item by yourself. Notice and document damages before moving. Make sure you have wall and floor protection up. When in doubt, think it out. Never move unboxed items or large pieces of uncrated glass. Never move uncrated marble and stone tabletops or pieces. Never move uncrated outdoor planters or fragiles. And lastly, use lots of floor and wall protection. When protecting your customer's property from damages, always use protection on the walls, stair rails, doors, and floors. Floor protection. Protecting your customer's hardwood floors and carpet is very important. Hardwood floor claims are very common in this industry. Here are a few tips to prevent hardwood and carpet claims on your team. Take pictures of the hardwood floors at both locations, noting any scratches and the overall condition of their floors. At the entry or any point of the floor that might get dollied, put cardboard down to prevent rutting marks or turn wear. Never spin, wrap, or band furniture without it having cardboard under the floor runners. Do not lay blankets on carpet as it can leak dyes and fuzzballs and need a re-clean. Use cardboard or runners instead. Doorway protection. Jamb protectors are used to protect the jamb of the doors from damages. Door protection protects the doors, especially the front door, from rubs and scratches. Wall protection. Wall rubs and scratches are high up on the list of claims. Stairwells can be tight and corners can be sharp. Cardboard protection secured with blue tape, never packing tape because that will remove the paint, is a great way to protect your customer's wall. Avoid floor claims. Never drag furniture. It is extremely important that all floors have protection. Staircase treads should have neoprene runners or cardboard taped down. Hardwood floors, carpets, and tile should have runners or blankets protecting the surface. Hardwood floor claims are one of the top claims when performing local moves. Disassembly and reassembly. Having the proper tools is just one part of furniture assembly. Typically, movers will not assemble items they do not take apart, unless the furniture is brand new out of the box. Typically, movers do not reassemble cribs, trampolines, or bunk beds. These are considered high liability items. Do not leave unassembled furniture behind. Get it done. Prepping the load. Balance your load with the denser items such as heavy book boxes falling more toward the middle. Tie off your loads and make sure to prevent walls from shifting and falling, which can cause significant damage. Make sure to put top load, TL, and fragile boxes on the top of your loads. Start the bottom row with heavy furniture pieces such as dressers and burrows. Do not stack heavy boxes on the furniture if possible. Please do not slide non-blanketed bottoms of furniture on the floor of the truck. What type of loader are you? Are you a bad loader, a good loader, or a great loader? Loading your truck. Here's a quick video on loading your truck. Small and partial loads. Here are some examples of small and partial loads. Box truck shaking. Check out this video showing you how much the inside of a moving truck shakes when being driven. It's important to visualize this so you can realize how important tie-offs are. Tie off your load. Securing your load is a very important part of your move. For local moves or long distance moves, you should always make sure the load is tied off to avoid any shifting. For labor-only jobs, it's important to tie off the items in the customer's rental truck. Again, this is very important. It's recommended you tie every few walls to stop it from shifting. Cross the straps or rope to create an X pattern across the boxes. Moving blanket protection. The moving blanket is one of the most important tools in protecting your customer's furniture. Moving blankets protect wood and plastic surfaces from scratches and rubs caused by moving, stacking, and unloading the furniture. When using a moving blanket, it's important that the blanket covers the entire piece of furniture from top to bottom before applying your stretch wrap or moving bands. For higher end pieces, make sure to put a blanket on the floor. Set the piece on the blanket so you can pull up the blanket and protect the feet on the piece you're looking to protect. When removing blankets from an item, they should be folded and stacked as you remove them. This is important to keep your blankets clean and dry. Dirty blankets can have the opposite effect and trap debris in the blankets that can cause scratch marks. Stretch wrap. Use stretch wrap to give your customers' belongings the best protection. Not only does stretch wrap keep the blankets from moving, but they also help the walls in the truck stay stronger and give integrity to the more flimsy pieces of furniture. It's important when using stretch wrap you follow these tips. To stretch wrap something by yourself, just tie the loose end to the foot of the piece that you want to wrap. Never spin a piece of furniture on a bare floor when wrapping unless there are 2 blankets under that piece. Pick up empty rolls and do not leave rolls behind. Watch out for the empty rolls because those can be trip hazards. Make sure you have plenty of stretch wrap on your truck before leaving the shop in the morning. Wrap it right. Stretch wrap is a great way to protect your customer's furniture by keeping the blankets in place. Stretch wrap also helps firm up pressboard furniture and keep it tight. It's great for packing silverware drawers and it's great for yard tools or brooms. When wrapping, the blanket must cover the entire piece you're wrapping. Using mover bands. Bands are a great resource that cut down on plastic stretch waste and help the customer save money by making the move go faster. Bands should be used on smaller and larger lightweight pieces. Any pieces of high value or worth should always be blanketed and stretch wrapped. Remember to rehang your bands inside the truck and do not leave them behind on the job site. Mover band video. Here's a quick video of Jeremy from Best Movers showing you how to use mover bands.
Hey, this is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and today we're going to go over using bands to secure your blanket to an armchair. These bands are pretty standard and they come in different lengths, from 18 inches all the way up to 48 inches. And these are great for a few different things. If you're really looking for some speed on a move, this really helps. If you have a customer that maybe has lower value worth furniture, these really help. And they're really easy to use, so I'm just going to show you real quick how this goes. I already got my item blanketed. And now I'm going to take my band. And there's my first band. And I'm going to take my second band. Just really trying to secure all the points where the blanket could come loose and where I'm not grabbing it. And secure that band on the front. Then I put this last band underneath and bring it right up over the front. Then I'm tucking any excess into that band underneath so it holds. And there you have it. You have a band wrapped blanket and you're all good to go and load it up in the truck. This is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and I appreciate you tuning in today. Have a great day.
Here are some terms that every Best Mover should be aware of. Packing. This usually refers to safely placing smaller household items such as dishes, clothes, knickknacks, pitchers, and more into a box of the appropriate size. Loading. This usually refers to placing the furniture and boxes and other non-packable items into a truck or portable storage device. Moving. The physical process of relocating a person's household goods from one property to another. Bill of lading. Legal paperwork required by the state that clearly states charges and coverages to a customer. Self-storage. A spot rented by the shipper to personally store their items. Dollies and hump straps. When using dollies and hump straps, be careful with the dollies on stair treads as they can damage the treads. Dollies with hard tires should not go on treads without protection. Maximize your truck trips with hump straps. Avoid knocking and hitting door jambs and walls. Do not over-tighten appliance dolly straps. Be careful with dollies, leaving marks on the floors, even through floor protection. Flat screen televisions. When handling customers' flat screen televisions, you cannot protect a TV with a blanket or by placing the TV between mattresses. Test the picture before and after and upload the pictures to the CRM. Make sure it works. Remove the stand and use the foam corners. Use 2 movers to dismount any television. Any screws should be put back into the stand. Handle carefully. Getting 5-star reviews. Reviews are extremely important. The reviews you get say a lot about how you and your team work. Securing good reviews helps the community build trust in your company and helps keep the schedule filled. Here's a few tips to get more reviews. Ask the customer to leave a review at the end of the move. Provide stellar customer service. Get the customers to love your service. Moving bedroom furniture and dressers. Almost every move you go on will have a bedroom suite. This room is a room that gets a lot of attention. Here are a few tips to keep. Take great before pictures. Be careful with pressboard pieces. Make sure the drawers are empty or not overweight. There can be nothing in the drawers of furniture that is not pure wood. Disassemble and reassemble correctly. Make sure to put your hardware back into the piece after disassembly to prevent lost pieces. Don't forget the dresser mirror screws should be put back in their original holes. Handling bed rails the correct way. Never lean bed rails standing against walls in the home or the truck. If you stand them up the long way, they will always fall and hurt or break something. Using a blanket, lay it on the floor. Lay the rails at a diagonal to get the most coverage with the blanket, and then roll the blanket into the rails and tightly tape the outside of the blanket. If wrapping side rails, avoid putting finished faces together. Only unfinished faces should be touching, and finished faces should always be touching the blanket side. Let's go over the proper techniques with Jeremy from the Best Movers on how to prepare a client's bedroom dresser.
Hello, this is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and today I just wanted to go over the proper techniques for preparing a dresser, bedroom dresser for a local move. If you've probably seen in prior videos, usually on moves more than 35 miles, I'll take the time to take the knobs and reverse the knobs inside out to avoid damage on the knobs. Of course, you want to make sure all your drawers are empty. You want to do that for 2 reasons. One reason being the actual weight, and the second reason being it compromises the integrity of the piece when you have more weight inside of it, including the bottom of the drawers. Cool, so let's get going on this. So we're going to start down here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our stretch wrap, and this is 18-inch, 55 gauge stretch wrap. You're going to just get you a starting point down here. That just holds it for you so that you don't need a partner to wrap, so you can just do a solo wrap. You're going to take your moving blankets. You want to make sure you get your blankets down. You want to have a little overhang on the front so you can use that overhang to protect the bottom of your piece. And then of course, right here, over here, you'll see, we're gonna do what they call dog ears. So you wanna take the actual blanket and we wanna fold it. And we wanna keep that pattern going when we come back around with the stretch wrap. And then on this side, when we come into it, we wanna take it and we wanna do a nice dog ear. That keeps it nice and clean. Keep that dog ear still going. And then I'm just going to start going in on my wrap a little bit. I'm just going to pull. And my stretch wrap there. And of course, if I was going on a long distance move or longer in-state move, this is for a local move, I tip the piece up on its side and also wrap it horizontally. That way we can make sure it's fully protected for longer trips. But for local moves, this is how you do it.
Dressers, bureaus, and bedroom sets. Bedroom furniture is a common place to lose screws and hardware. Remember to put the screws back into the screw holes and not in plastic or a drawer. Always put screws right back in the same furniture piece so they are there when you get to reassemble. Take great pre-existing pictures and make sure to blanket and wrap the bedroom furniture really well. For lift or power beds, make sure you take pictures of connections and use tape to label cords correctly. Items are fine in drawers unless the piece is made from pressboard and does not have the structural integrity to move with extra weight. Appliance dollies work great for dressers and bureaus. Protecting items for self-storage. Sometimes you will need to move a customer's items into a self-storage unit. Many smaller companies will want to keep their fabric pads. In this case, use 3-ply paper pads for the best storage protection. When loading the storage unit, it's best to put the heavier items towards the back of the unit and keep boxes to the front for the customer access. As always, make sure to take a picture of a tight load. Mechanical beds. When it comes to beds found in customers' homes, there is a wide variety that movers may encounter. While regular beds may have different attachment methods for their slats, floorboards, and headboards, some beds require extra attention from movers with advanced mechanical skills and experience. These specialized beds often feature multiple electrical plugins and settings that require specific knowledge. To avoid damaging these unique beds, it is recommended to watch instructional videos and read manuals before attempting to move them. Guessing or taking shortcuts should be avoided. Here are some examples of specialized beds that movers may come across: mechanical and sleep number beds, water beds, hospital and clinic beds. Wrapping furniture with blanket and tape. In this video, we'll watch Jeremy from Best Movers demonstrate the proper way to wrap a dresser with the use of a blanket and 2-inch packing tape instead of stretch wrap.
Hi, this is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and today we're going to go over blanket wrap a piece of furniture, and today we're going to be using tape, 2-inch packing tape instead of using stretch wrap. The biggest thing about packing tape is when you're using packing tape to secure a blanket to a piece of furniture, you want to make sure that the packing tape never touches the finish of the piece you're blanketing. Again, the tape should only stay on the blanket when you wrap it around. Using packing tape is suitable for local moves, pieces that have been through a lot of moves that look scratched and damages, sometimes a lot of pressboard furniture. On local moves where they bill by the hours, the customers tend to want to take less carriage, less expensive pieces than they do more expensive pieces. On this one, I did turn the knobs inside out, and if you notice, at the bottom of the piece, we're on hardwood floors, so I put a blanket. Even though I'm not going to be spinning the piece, just a little knock or nick, I could leave a scratch, ding, or dent in the floor, so I'm going to keep it on top of the blanket. And now I'm going to do my blanket wrap, so let me grab my blanket. Again, just like before, I'm going to droop my blanket over, keeping it nice and even. I want to make sure I have enough room for my dog ears on both sides. Both sides look good. And then I'm simply going to just start at the top here. Secure my tape on the back side, and I'm going to try to hold it with one hand as I secure my other dog ear on this side. Right like that. Nice deep. And then the same on the bottom area. So obviously a lot faster than using the stretch wrap, a little more cost effective than using the stretch wrap. Packing tape is a lot more cost effective. And there you have it, you get a blanket wrap using packing tape.
Water and gas safety. For safety reasons, it is important that movers do not attempt to connect, disconnect, or service gas lines. In addition, water connections that appear compromised or rusted should not be handled by the mover, as they may cause water damage. It's crucial to know the location of main water turnoff points in case of an emergency. If permitted by the company, the main water valve can be turned off with a key. However, until the damaged or worn connections are capped, the water cannot be turned back on. It's recommended to call a plumber to handle any issues with damaged or worn attachments. Moving a fridge. In order to properly move your customer's fridge, these steps should be carefully followed. Make sure to shut off water before disconnecting water supply. Shut off at street if possible as well. Take pictures of the fridge and upload to CRM before starting to protect the fridge. On stainless steel, especially look for and document any ding marks or scratches. Measure doorways to make sure the fridge will fit through. Never try and force or push a fridge through a doorway. If it got in without damage, it can get out without damage. Remove all food and ice if the customer has not already done so. Ask the customer for a cooler for the food. Remove door handles and put them inside the fridge. Stuff blankets between all the glass shelves. Here are some fridge reminders. Never put a fridge on its side, as the compressor oil may leak into the unit and ruin the fridge beyond repair. Be careful that the weight of the fridge and appliance dolly do not crack tile or other fragile flooring. Also be careful that you do not leave rubber marks on the floor. Cardboard and stretch wrap the fridge before using the fridge blanket. Be careful there's nothing leaning against the fridge. In the truck, the fridge door should be on and facing the outside wall. Fridges are expensive. Don't use force. Call and ask questions. Be comfortable. Hands-on training with at least 6 fridge moves is recommended. Boxes packed by the customer. When a customer packs their own boxes, you want to be careful of the following to avoid damages. If a customer has a large box overpacked with dishes and it feels like the box is going to break, then insist on a repack or insist you cannot move it without repacking the box. This is the same for any improperly packed boxes. Boxes that are leaking oils or other liquids. Make sure to take pictures or inventory the condition of the boxes. PBO, or packed by owner, is a common label to write on boxes where the movers and the customers both pack. Washer and dryer moving. Washers and dryers are high-end appliances that can dent easily and cause floor and wall damage if not moved correctly. Make sure you do the following when moving either. Become an appliance best certified. Be careful of dragging the washer and dryer and tearing the linoleum or flooring of the drain pan. Use 2 pieces of 4-inch PVC pipe to roll the washer over the pan and avoid damage. Make sure to move the dryer first so that you can lift the washing machine from the plastic drain pan and avoid breaking the pan. Make sure to shut the water off at the machine and at the meter if possible. If connections have lots of corrosion or buildup, then call operations. If dealing with a gas dryer, make sure the gas is off and never connect or disconnect a gas line, as this must be performed and inspected by a licensed professional. Do not stack heavy items on top of the machine load. Do not attempt to switch dryer prongs, as only an electrician can do this. Bolts in washing machines should be installed before your move starts. You must be best washer and dryer certified to reconnect. Do not turn the water on. Just reconnect the water and let the customer know for liability purposes they need to turn them on after. Tips for disconnecting a washer. In this video, we'll cover the disconnection of a customer's washing machine.
Hello, this is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and today I just wanted to go over disconnecting and reconnecting your wash machine. This part's going to go over the disconnection. A few things that are extremely important when disconnecting your washer or reconnecting your washer. Number 1 is to locate the main water shutoff valve. Now that could be the valve that's out at the street that has the metal cover that your water company comes by and read, or a lot of times the home itself will have a shutoff valve for the entire home, and you want to shut that as well. And if it has both, then shut off both. It never hurts to use more than. Now, since this is a disconnect and the water's already shut off, of course, I'm going to make one more turn here, and I'm going to make sure my water is shut off here. And then once my water's shut off, I'm going to take my lock grip pliers and I'm going to take this off. You want to see here, you want to be extremely careful. This has rust on it, so if this was a reconnect, you would not want to reconnect this. You would want to refer to the customer to come have a plumber come in and fix it. Usually when you see rust like this, it could be an internal corrosion, and just a little bit of twisting could break that off. And even with the water off, you still have water in those pipes, and when it breaks, it could do the wall. So whenever you see rust, it is okay to do a disconnect as long as the water's off. But you also want to remember, if that breaks in the wall and the customer goes to turn the water on, you're going to have that leak again. So at the end of the day, our teams, we just leave the water off completely. And if there's ever any rust, we leave that right alone and refer the customer to, of course, a plumber. And in the meantime, if I still needed to move my piece, I would just take my hoses off. After disconnecting the water, I would just take my hoses off and at the washer end, and then I would stick both my hoses in the drain in case the water got turned back on. Now, this is Jeremy with your disconnect video with the best movers, and I appreciate your time today. Thank you and have a great day.
Tips for connecting a washer. Now let's observe how to reconnect a washer in a customer's new home.
Hello, this is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and today we're going to go over real quickly how to reconnect a wash machine. Of course, the first thing you want to make sure before you start anything up is that your water at the street, that's out near the street where the water company reads with a metal cover, that water shut off. And of course, if the water to the home has a main shut-off valve in the home, you want to shut that off. If it has both, that's great. You want to shut both those off. And of course, when you're doing your reconnect, you want to make sure you're off right here at your hose connection. First thing you want to do is inspect. I do keep a cloth in here just so I can clean around the connections. Make sure it's all nice and clean. There's no grit that might loosen up the seal. And the next step I'm going to take a little bit of this Teflon tape. And I'm just going to take a little bit because it doesn't take much. But I just want to take that Teflon tape and I'm just going to wrap it right around there. Of course, it's always tricky on the ones you do the videos on because that's just how it is. And then I'm going to take right here. You can see my washer is in great shape here. We actually just moved this customer last year and this looks like one of our washers, so we probably replaced this washer last year. I always recommend carrying some washers with you. Never reconnect this hose without a washer. Never reconnect the hose if this junction is rusted, and never reconnect the hose if you haven't been able to shut the water off, because if you didn't have a tight seal and the water came on after you left, you could have some serious leakage and some flooding issues. And then I'm going to just take this over the Teflon tape. I'm just going to do it nice and finger tight. And then right when it gets tight a little bit with my finger grip, I'm going to come in with my channel locks. And I'm just going to give it 2 or 3 good turns. I don't want to go too tight and break it off. I want to just keep it nice and snug. I'm going to turn my water back on. I want to hold your hose while you turn your water back on. Sorry. And then, of course, I want to inspect for leaks. I want to make sure there's no leaks. That was just some water from the hose before. I'm going to give it a couple seconds. I don't see no leaks, so we're all good to go. This is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and I appreciate you tuning in on my reconnection video. Thank you and have a great day.
Tips for connecting a dryer. In this video, Jeremy from Best Movers will cover how to connect a dryer in a customer's new home.
Hello, this is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and today I wanted to go over reconnecting a dryer. There's a few important things for safety you want to remember right off the bat. One is, if you've already just messed with your washer, there's a pretty good chance you're going to have water on your hands, your boots, or other surfaces such as your tools. Please make sure you are 100% dry before ever coming near any sort of electrical connection. First thing you want to do is go down into the garage and you want to find the 220 switch, and it's usually going to be labeled dryer, and the 220 switch is a double switch. It's the wider switch, and you want to find the one that says dryer, and you want to turn this off just to be extra paranoid, because you don't know if you have some moisture on your hands. 220 volts is twice the regular size volt, so it could obviously cause instant death. And usually when you move, you have two types of plugs. This is a 4-way plug, and then they also have a 3-way plug. If the plug matches, feel free to plug it right in, and you want to just give it a slight kick like that. I always carry a little rag to wipe all the dust down for my customers. And of course, if this wasn't a 4-prong, if this was a 3-prong, or vice versa, this was a 4-prong and this was a 3-prong female, you'd at that point have to recommend the customer to get an electrician out here. Never should you attempt to rewire a plug, or never should you attempt to rewire a dryer. It can cause hazards, fires, death, and unnecessary liabilities. So again, I'm just going to take that, give it a little hit, and I'm going to plug that in. And then my second part is, I'm going to hook up my dryer hose. As you can see on this dryer hose, I have about 18 inches. And usually when your dryer is this close to the wall, that's all you want to have. Too much excess can take the customer's clothes longer to dry. It'll also bind up behind it when you go to push it in. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to have just enough so I can squeeze in there when I move this around. And I'm going to get down in here, and I'm going to use my horse clamp. And voila, you're all hooked up and ready to go. This is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and I appreciate you watching my dryer reconnection video. Have a great day.
Protecting tables and chairs. Tables and chairs will most likely be in every home you move. Since customers tend to use these as general showpieces, they are very important pieces that the slightest imperfection can draw attention to. Make sure you use the chair blankets for the chairs. This makes it faster for you, better on the customer bill, and best of all, give the chair full scratch protection. When stacking chairs in the truck, they should be considered top load, TL items. Put a layer of cardboard, then blanket and stretch wrap around the tabletop tight and secure, leaving no exposed part of the tabletop. Always store on edge, and when loading to the truck, keep the finished tabletop pointed to the outside of the truck. Rugs. Rugs can cost thousands of dollars, and customers can be very agitated when rugs get dirty or have folds or creases. Remember, rugs should be the last thing you load and the first thing you unload so that you can set the rugs up before bringing in the furniture. Make sure the rugs are not crooked and are installed correctly and parallel to the walls. Roll your rugs and label them room by room. Keep them on the floor of the truck. Loose parts, nuts, and screws. Keeping track of loose parts, nuts, and screws is very important. Never tape or wrap screws, bolts, or other hardware in a separate ball of plastic. Never tape them to the item they belong to. Please always put the hardware back into the item after disassembly. If you remove a screw or bolt, put it back in the hole you removed it from. Items that cannot be reinserted should be taped and labeled with a marker and put in a drawer or concealed space of that piece of furniture. This makes reassembly easier and greatly decreases the risk of lost hardware. Be careful using drills where you might strip the head of a screw. Never move or touch. While moving, you may encounter some items that you should never move or touch. These items should be strictly handled by the customer. These items include cash, guns, jewelry, ammo, gas cans, medications, unboxed lamps, unboxed TVs, non-crated large glass pieces, uncrated marble or stone tabletops, unboxed or unprepped fragile pieces. When encountering any of these items, timestamp it in the notes and hand it to your customer in front of everyone. Packing tape is a great tool for movers on any job. Tape is great for securing roll-up rugs, garage hand tools, and securing blankets around bed rails and frame rails. Be careful that the packing tape never sticks to the finish of furniture, as it can remove the finish when removing it. Sometimes you can miss the blanket and get the tape on the furniture finish. Please pick up your tape rolls and use all the tape on the roll. Den of thieves. There is nothing worse than having a thief on your team. Thieves can give not only your company, but even the entire industry a bad name. A few good ways to prevent theft on your jobs is to 1. Make sure your company is doing background checks. Number 2, never allow a family member or friend to come to a job. Number 3, keep an eye out for the things like pill and alcohol addicts. These addictions can leave people desperate. Number 4, watch the new guy. Number 5, keep an eye on backpacks and lunchboxes. They should never go into the home. Prep and move a china hutch. A china hutch can hold sentimental value for many customers. When preparing and moving these pieces, be sure to carefully remove glass shelves. These shelves can usually be blanket wrapped and placed in drawers of the china hutch for safe transport. Use cardboard to protect the glass front of the hutch and make sure to carefully label the glass front. The glass front should be facing the outside wall to avoid flex. Be careful when removing the top of the cabinet from the base. Have a blanket on the floor to do a full wrap. Many hutches will need cardboard feet to protect the feet from chipping or damage. Moving sofas, love seats, and sectionals. Couch furniture material can easily tear or mark. These pieces can be oddly shaped, heavy, and moving them is always a challenge. Here are some tips to make it easier. If available, use the custom fitted blankets for couches and love seats. This ensures a better fit and an easier wrap. Lay a blanket on the floor, set the couch on the blanket, and then tip the couch on its back and begin draping blankets covering all fabric. Have your teammate hold the blanket in place while you stretch wrap the entire piece. Remember, if it's a light colored couch, wrap the couch in stretch wrap before the blankets are applied. Move a mattress. Mattresses can cost thousands of dollars and are one of the first things customers will notice if they are dirty or damaged. Be sure to use a reusable mattress bag if available. Carrying and folding your mattress bags will provide for long-term use. Bags will also give pillow tops more control. Pressboard furniture. Moving furniture made of pressboard or particle board can pose a significant risk due to its fragile nature. Unfortunately, customers often mistake particle board furniture for wood and may be unaware of its low quality and durability issues. This confusion can lead to customers spending thousands of dollars on furniture that's not real wood. If you need to move pressboard furniture, it's essential to take extra precautions to prevent damage. Disassemble the furniture as much as possible to make it easier to transport. Wrap each piece carefully with the protective padding or blankets to prevent scratches, dents, or chips during transportation. Make sure to handle each piece with care while loading and unloading from the moving truck. By following these steps, you can minimize the risk of damage when moving pressboard furniture. For extra precautions, team leaders should take good pictures. Let customers know that the piece will need to be completely disassembled and reassembled. This is the only proper way to transport pressboard furniture, unless your customer signs off that there is no liability in moving it assembled. Remember, pressboard is not solid wood. Take lots of pictures. VIP customer tips. Very important customers are usually a label that the sales department will put on a customer. Some reasons a customer might be marked as VIP: the source of where the customer heard about us, the value of the home or the customer's items, or the customer had a previous bad experience they shared with sales. To prepare for a VIP customer, follow these tips. Have a planogram. Make a planogram to avoid having to bother the customer multiple times during the unload. Have everything assembled. Make sure everything is put back together and in the right place for the customer. Go above and beyond. Pick up any trash in each room, double walkthroughs, and double check cabinets and closets to avoid leaving anything behind. Pictures for copycat resets. Take before pictures of each room so you can reset it exactly the same way at the new location. Moving centerpieces. Centerpieces are usually large pieces that pull together the entire design of a home. Usually, they are in multiple pieces. The one pictured has the two towers, the base, and the cap. These pieces can be made of pressboard, so be careful. Take lots of pre-existing damage pics. Use touch-up markers for new or old scratches if the customer allows it. Moving mirror dressers. Transporting a mirror dresser can be a challenging task. It is crucial to document the piece carefully before preparing it for the move. Here are a few tips to minimize the risk of damage. Remove the handle knobs from all the drawers. This will prevent them from getting entangled or damaged during the move. Use a 1/2 inch or large bubble wrap to cover the entire piece before wrapping it in a blanket or additional wrap. This will provide an additional layer of protection against scratches, dents, or cracks. Make sure to pad the feet of the dresser with cardboard to prevent any damage to the furniture or the surrounding items during transportation. By following these precautions, you can safely move your mirror dresser to its new location. Labor-only moving. Labor-only jobs typically consist of moving customers' items into a device they provide, such as a rental truck, portable storage device, or they may just need pieces moved around their home. Take lots of pictures. Check your company's policy, typically no coverage. Refuse to do it the wrong way without a sign-off. Note if the customer is lacking rope or blankets. Remember, labor-only moves include the movers and the tools. The supplies and the move management will be provided by the customer. Garage items. Garage items can be very challenging. Items in the garage tend to be awkward and can usually be big space killers in the truck. Things can be dirty with spiderwebs and dust. Here are a few tips when doing the garage. Do the garage last. It may require a second trip and is usually not as important as the items in the home. Sweep items off with your broom. Use stretch wrap to keep things together in bundles, such as garden tools, fishing rods, and metal chairs. Determine if shelving is best to break down or load assembled, and put garage loose items on them. Leaving items behind. One of the biggest customer service issues on local moves usually has to do with smaller, misplaced, or missing items. Many times, these items never made it on the truck from the original home, or never made it out of the truck at the unload. To prevent issues, it's important to take the time and do a thorough walkthrough with your customers. Check all doors and cupboards up high and down low. To avoid leaving items on the truck, make sure your blankets are always folded. When you practice good housekeeping and remain professional, tracking your customers' items is always easier. Elevators and loading docks. Loading docks and elevators at apartment complexes or other commercial buildings can require special procedures. Make sure to take pre-existing pictures of any exposed parts of the elevator. Be mindful of reserved elevator times and make a plan to work efficiently with that schedule. Outside the home items. As a best mover, you will always be required to move items outside of the home. Here are tips for specialty outdoor items. Grills. Remove propane tanks. Make sure not to grab by table ends. Remember to apply extra stretch wrap. Plants. Due to various laws in interstate and the liability for breakage, best movers should not move plants. A great suggestion for a customer is a gardener or landscaper. Swing sets. Most swing sets require a lot of pictures and time and are done the day before or after the main move. Cribs. Cribs can be disassembled and moved but not reassembled. Trampolines. Trampolines can be disassembled but not reassembled for liability reasons. A handyman is great for these. Yard tools. Use a broom to sweep them clean or wash them with a garden hose. Stretch wrap the hand tools in bundles. Mowers. If there is still gas, turn the mower on and run it out. Take good pictures. Do not load items on top of mowers. Never put gas in your truck bed. Light-colored furniture. Light-colored furniture can have its challenges. In this instructional video, Jeremy from Best Movers will cover how to protect light-colored fabric from dirt and blanket lint. Make sure to take pictures of any stains or dirt before starting to move any light-colored pieces of furniture.
Hello, this is Jeremy with the Best Movers, and today I'm going to be going over moving white furniture, in particular any fabric colors that are light colored or white. One of the biggest things with white furniture is you tend to get a lot of dirt and stains on there, or sometimes if it's raining like it is outside today, you can even transfer some of the blanket dyes onto the white furniture, causing serious damage. So I just want to go over a little bit of things on breaking down this white chair and transporting it. First thing you'll notice is today I'm going to leave the legs on during transport. I'm doing this because it's only a local move. So we're actually just going like 2 miles up the street, and we're actually preparing for 2 trips with the truck anyways today. But normally if this was an intra or interstate move, and I needed to maximize my truck space,
I would take the time, get my hex head set, and remove the 2 bolts in each leg, and then remove these legs, either blanket wrapping them individually, or wrapping them and sticking them back inside here. And even for some moves, I would probably use an extra large box, because we've actually moved these before from out of state. When they came in, they were in an extra large box, which gave them ultimate protection and gave us some great stack value as well. The biggest thing with white furniture that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to stretch wrap it before any blanket touches the surface, and this will protect my white surfaces from dye stains, dirt, rain. You'd really be surprised how quick these can get dirty. So that's all I'm going to do on this simple piece, just a single man roll. I'm going to tie it down here on the leg, and I'm just going to take my stretch wrap, keeping it at the base of the fabric, and then just working my way up so that I'm protecting all that white surface. Try not to drop your stretch wrap like I just did. And then, as I get this finished up here, now I have my fabric protected from any dyes, dirt, anything like that on the blanket. Save myself a claim and a customer service issue. And then the next thing I'm going to do, simply take my moving blanket. I'm going to droop my moving blanket over here. And then depending on the type of operation requirements your company uses for moves, you can either use stretch wrap, which is the best way to do it. Some companies will use tape and do a tape secure. And then of course, some companies will use these rubber bands, which is what we're going to use today. So with the rubber band, I'm just going to make it really quick. It's just a local move. I want to protect my base of my legs, which is super important. A lot of times people leave the legs of the furniture showing, which when you work hard for your furniture, it's not the best way to see it come in the door. So then I'm just going to do a simple band on there. And of course, if I wanted to go above and beyond, this is a VIP client or a lot of high-end furniture, I'd take the time to stretch wrap it. And of course, if you'll notice, underneath my chair this entire time, I have the blanket laid out. That way, I don't scratch or put any rub marks on the hardwood floors here, so just keeping that protected and nice and safe. And then, as you'll see, I'm just going to continue on and finish up my wrap, and then you'll have a well-protected, light-colored, in today's case, white piece of furniture.
Fish tanks. Fish tanks are considered specialty pieces and must be in a crate by us or a third party to move. Moving any glass aquarium can be extremely dangerous and risky to movers and the clients. There are many factors in keeping fish alive, transporting and crating the tank. Any fish tanks over 10 gallons, which should be bubbled and boxed, should only be moved by an aquarium or fish specialist. These specialty trades have the right equipment, people, and day-to-day experience of handling these large, beautiful pieces. Feel free to check with your office on the aquarium procedures. Attics and crawl spaces. Never enter an attic space that is not lit. Make sure when you're entering an attic, you do not step off from the clear path to avoid stepping or falling into the floor below. Do not walk in an attic with no walk space or walkboards. Trust jumping in an attic is an accident waiting to happen. Wear a mask if there is blown or old insulation. Do not climb or work around the hot water heater, furnace, or any other utilities. Grandfather clocks are a piece that should be moved by a seasoned mover. They should have experience in packing the pendulum and weights. They must know how to protect and bubble wrap the glass on the clock without having to remove the glass. Make sure the grandfather clock weights and pendulum are removed, bubble wrapped, and boxed prior to moving the clock. Take detailed before and after pictures so you know what parts go where on reassembly. Remember, never move unboxed or improperly packaged items or TVs. The best way to prevent damage is not trying to wing it and hope for the best. Safes and gun safes. Moving large gun safes takes a team leader with years of experience to move properly. A few tips to remember. The floor where you will be rolling, the safe must have plywood protecting. Regular floor protection will not prevent the indents from happening. Moving a safe downstairs is extremely dangerous. If you do not feel comfortable with your crew, the durability of the stairs, or any other factors, reach out to the supervisor for support. Strap the safe on in the truck so it does not tip or fall out the side. Using the liftgate, the team members should be standing on the sides to support the safe. Piano moving. Baby grand pianos should only be serviced and moved by movers who have prior piano moving experience and have taken the Best Mover Pianos endorsement. Many companies have their movers move uprights to a certain weight and value. For uprights, take good before and after pictures. Blanket wrap the upright and stretch it 2 to 3 layers thick. The wheels on an upright casters are not made to move the piano with. Never let the piano touch the ground. Only lift and use dollies. Have enough muscle and pre-walk for your carry. Avoid damages. Hoisting furniture or special pieces. Hoisting furniture is something that should be done by an extremely experienced mover who knows the safety requirements and planning involved in hoisting. Please get with your office on hoisting procedures. Our Best VIP certification course trains on hoisting. Food in refrigerators or freezers. We always email the customer about removing food from refrigerators and freezers, but sometimes they might forget. Any food left in the fridge can cause damage to the inside of the fridge during moving and transporting. It's best to work with the customer on getting this emptied out into either coolers or boxes. Food should always be emptied or donated through great programs like Move for Hunger. Moving blankets. When moving furniture, taking care of the blankets used to protect it is essential. It's important to fold the blankets as they are removed from each piece of furniture instead of creating a big pile and folding them at the end. This practice not only reduces the risk of smaller items getting lost in the blankets, but also saves time during the billing process and maintains good housekeeping. In addition, it's crucial to prevent blankets from getting wet during transportation. If they do get wet, hang them to dry using tie-off ropes. Any blankets that have holes, grease, or dirt should be reported to the office for replacement. Avoid using damaged blankets on future moves until replacements arrive. Hot tubs, playgrounds, pool tables, and more. These specialty items can only be completed by experienced movers who have passed the Best Mover Specialty and White Glove endorsement. Each piece is different and requires technical knowledge beyond moving. If this is on your job but not on your work order, please call your operations coordinator ASAP. Your moving company may allow non-certified movers to handle these items. Be sure to check with company procedures. Damages. Sometimes furniture damages will happen. When it happens, it's important to take the steps to resolve the issue and provide the customer with outstanding service. When damages happen, follow the reporting process for your company. Team managers, the drivers, please show the customer the damage, apologize, and let the customer know that the operations coordinator will come by the move or reach out before the end of the move and will be calling shortly, or your company's different individual policy. Take pictures and upload so they are time-stamped and operation knows what they are dealing with when calling the customer and showing up to the move. Always try to learn from the damage, identify how you may have prevented it, and move ahead with the experience. Tips. As a mover, tips can be a significant source of income. Many local movers report earning over $300 per week in tips on local moves, while top-notch team leads and drivers may earn $600 to $1,000 per month in tips alone. During major holidays and busy season, tips can exceed $1,000 per week. Tips are a reward for excellent service, and there are a few things to keep in mind to increase the likelihood of receiving them. Wearing a proper uniform with a tucked-in shirt can lead to a bigger and better gratuity. Being attentive to your customers' moods and needs can also increase the likelihood for a larger tip. Going above and beyond by clearing a room completely, including picking up small items from the floor, can also impress customers and lead to more generous tips. To be Best Mover certified means we always are on time and cherish everyone's time. We come prepared for the job with the equipment. Our team is well seasoned and well trained. Never say that it's your first day or that you worked late the night prior. And we have pep in our step when we are on our customer's dime. Hands-on training day list. To become a Best Mover certified, new trainees should schedule time with their supervisors to practice the following task: load truck on a timer, appliance moves, each person uses ratchet straps and ties off, multi-day and truck jobs, items into storage, inventory procedures, tool check, uniform assignments, work safe. Recovery for your body. Taking adequate rest is crucial for ensuring your safety and the safety of your team. It's important to ensure that you're always well rested and prepared for any tasks that lie ahead. In addition, stretching your legs and arms regularly can help prevent injuries and promote flexibility. Furthermore, allowing yourself a full day of rest after your last day of work can be beneficial for your muscles to recover and rebuild. So, it's recommended to incorporate a full rest day into your schedule. Moonlighting and side jobs. Most moving companies generally prohibit their employees from engaging in moonlighting or accepting side jobs from customers. This is because if an employee represents a customer for moving services while still working for the company, any mishaps that might occur during the moonlighting can expose the company to serious liabilities. In such situations, the customer could claim that the employee who performed the move was still an official representative of the company and seek compensation from the company's insurance. Therefore, while pursuing side hustles can be a good idea, it's advisable to confirm your moving company's moonlighting policies beforehand. Things to remember and avoid. Never enter a home with only children present. Someone over the age of 18 years of age must be present. Avoid trouble by sticking with this rule. Zero tolerance for any drug or alcohol use at work. No receiving donated furniture and items from customers. No friends or family are allowed to pick up items or return to a job after completion. No music on the job. No making passes at your customers. Keep it professional. About the author. Born in June 1980, Jeremy Goding has extensive experience in local moving industry spanning over 20 years. Having led numerous smaller local service companies, Jeremy utilized the information in this guide to personally certify his movers across various moving companies in the southeastern region. Jeremy currently resides in Charlottesville, North Carolina, with his lovely wife Keisha and is supported by their 3 children, Brooke, Kendall, and Riley, along with their granddaughter Isla and 3 pups, Onyx, Nami, and Palmetto. Apart from his professional pursuits, Jeremy finds joy in traveling, spending time with family, and overcoming the challenges of small business. Time for your test. Congratulations, you've completed the Best Movers Certification Training module. Now it's time to take the Best Training Certification Test. The link can be found below or see the link in the bio. If you make an 80% or higher on the test, you will receive your certificate of passing at the finish. We wish you the best of